We have taken a look at the biggest question facing each Major League Baseball team heading into 2024, and we have finally made it to our final division, the NL East. Let's go. In Atlanta, the question has to be, is it World Series or bust time? They have blown the last 2 years in the playoffs with the better team losing to the Philadelphia Phillies, but they are stacked and ready to go for another deep playoff run and hopefully can overcome the Phillies in the playoffs if you're a Braves fan. They have all the makings of a fantastic offense once again with all of their young stars locked up. Ronald Acuna, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, you name it, they've got it. They've added to the starting rotation with Chris Sale. They brought in Jared Kelenic to be a more consistent performer in the outfield. We'll see if that can actually happen. And they have the makings of a pretty decent bullpen, although there's been questions at the back end with guys like Raisel Iglesias. When all is said and done, though, the only thing that's going to matter in Atlanta, forget division titles, forget NL pennants, they need to win a World Series and see if their starting rotation with Max Fried, Spencer Strider, and all this dynamic offense can finally get them there in 2024. With the Philadelphia Phillies, they have beaten the Braves in the last two playoffs. They have made the NLCS. They have made a World Series. They haven't gone all the way yet, though. The question I have for the Phillies, there's 2 long seasons going to finally take its effects. We've seen the effects of long playoff runs on starting pitching. Aaron Nola did not have the best regular season last year, although he did perform very well in the playoffs. We'll see if he and Zach Wheeler can keep it up. Ranger Suarez dealt with injuries last year. See if he can produce more in Philadelphia this season, along with guys like Taijuan Walker. The offense still looks very good, although they're not a team that's going to play much defense. They are very defensively inept. Kyle Schwarber in the outfield is going to be scary, as is Nick Castellanos, but they are dynamic offensive players that really need to produce this season. And Bryce Harper as a first baseman, let's see what he looks like. Let's see what he can do as a first baseman and see if he can be a real power threat in the middle of the lineup in a fully healthy year in Philadelphia. The Miami Marlins were a surprise playoff team for many people last year, so the question is, can they prove that 2023 wasn't a fluke? They have lost a lot of offense with Jorge Soler, but Jake Berger and Josh Bell came over in midseason trades, and they look like the type of guys who can help push this offense without Soler. The starting rotation has taken a big hit with Sandy Alcantara out for the year. We'll see if the young starting pitchers can step up, especially guys like Yuri Perez and Edward Cabrera. And they had a very good bullpen last season, and they won a lot of one-run games. So can manager Skip Schumacher continue to lead this team through the tight games and continue to win one-run games? Or are they going to regress a little bit in that area? And if they do, you have to wonder, are they going to be on the outside looking in when it comes playoff time in 2024? For the New York Mets, they crashed and burned big time last season, but they were able to acquire a lot of young talent at the deadline. So you have to wonder, is this the calm before the storm in New York? We've seen a lot of turnover with the Mets. They missed out on manager Craig Counsell, but they've got a lot of young talent that looks very good. Francisco Alvarez, Brett Beatty look to be long-term pieces. Maybe Luis Angel Acuna and Drew Gilbert can establish themselves in the major leagues in 2024. Pete Alonso is in a contract year, and hopefully he can have a big season for the Mets as he looks towards free agency and that big payday. There's a lot of pieces kind of mixed between the old and the new. Brandon Nimmo, Starling Marte, Francisco Lindor, can they produce along with maybe some help from the young players? If that's the case, the Mets could be a playoff team. The rotation is rebuilt with Luis Severino and Sean Manaea adding some depth to the rotation. They've added a lot of pieces to the bullpen. This could be a decent pitching staff, especially fronted by Kodai Senga. You have to wonder how all the pieces are going to come together in New York to see if they can make a run in 2024. Our final team of all our MLB previews is the Washington Nationals, and the question in Washington is, can they establish the next face of the franchise? Juan Soto is long gone. The guys of the World Series championship are long gone. So who's going to be the next face of the franchise in Washington? CJ Abrams had a very good second half last season. Hopefully he can continue to establish himself for national fans. Keibert Ruiz had a very good year as well. You have star outfielders coming through the minors in Dylan Cruz and James Wood. You're trying to establish some more starting pitching behind Josiah Gray, and that's going to be a major focus for the Nationals this season. They've added some surprising pieces along the way. We'll see what Joey Gallo can produce in Washington. They had the makings of an okay bullpen in Washington, They've added to it a little bit. We'll see what they can do there. But in Washington, it's all about the young guys and seeing who can emerge to be the next star in Washington. Thank you so much for watching all of the MLB previews here on 3 Up, 3 Down. If you have missed one, make sure you go check it out in the tag playlist. As well, if you're interested in any baseball analytics, go check out some of the videos I did through the offseason. I hope you are ready for the 2024 season. I will have my World Series predictions coming out soon, as long as some breakout star videos. Until next time, make sure you subscribe to the channel as we push for 500 subscribers. Take care, everyone.